With Syrian President Bashar al-Assad having fled the country and the Islamist rebel groups headed by Hayat Tahrir al-Sham declaring Damascus as free, the 13-year-long conflict in the country comes to an end. But the bigger question is, what lies next? A war which involves so many international players, including US and Russia, is bound to have global repercussions. Hence, our reporter Archan Kundu spoke to veteran Syrian journalist and West Asia strategist Waiel Awwad, who explains how the power dynamics will shift in the Middle East and what will be its impact around the world.
Thank you for having me. The first issue is this attack led by more than 30 mercenaries group of Takfiri, of Salafists, and Hayat Tahrir al-Sham is nothing but al-Nusra Front, which was Al-Qaeda, which was loyal to IS, and all of them are terrorist organization, and the United States have put $10 million bounty on the head of Abu Muhammad al-Julani, who is leading this group. But we have seen him appearing on CNN, which is ironically clearly tells you that the American have no respect for any kind of terrorist, whether it was Golani or Baghdadi. They had also 10 million in his head. But at the end of the day, they told us it was a misidentification that they released him from the prison. Al-Golani and Baghdadi, where he formed ISI. So therefore, we should not trust them when they speak that these are groups of opposition or rebels. It has nothing to do but the mercenaries from Uzbek, from Yugur, from Tajik, from Chechen, Ukraine, Turkey, Israel, and United States giving the cover and the map of GPS of these attacks, led by the Turkish government troops, and you're allowing the drones and the tanks, armed vehicles, all these operations took place immediately after the ceasefire in Lebanon, and we knew that Syria is the phase 2 of the attack, and that is where the Syrian cities have been falling because they jam most of the communication and they start giving fake reports and instruction to the army unit to move out. But the war is still on, and we believe that the Syrian future is that grim. If they fall in the hand of terrorist organization, we may think that Syria could turn into a new Kandahar because of the Al-Qaeda and the terrorist organization.
All right, sir. And if that were to happen, which seems like it will, what will be the implications or the impact on the neighboring Arab countries? How will it impact individually for them?
Well, I think it will have not only regional implication, it will have an international, global implication. First of all, India have submitted a draft to the UN for a comprehensive fight against terrorism, which never been taken seriously by the international community, especially the Security Council, and continue to remain only in the archive. But the fight against terrorism has to be fought collectively. So if you allow these things to happen, there will be a disintegration of Syria. There will be sectarian violence. There will be more Islamophobia and extremist group mushrooming in that part of the world, because already the Israelis' war is on in Gaza and West Bank, and the genocide is happening there. So there's an anti-American establishment, anti-Israel feeling in that world, even anti-Western world who is supporting Israel in this war. So what you are planning to do? You wanted to create a sectarian or a Shia-Sunni fight where you will have most of the people start interfighting among themselves and disintegration. So therefore, there will be an immediate impact on Syria, on Iraq, on Iran, even will spread back to South Asia. There will be a terrorism next door to you as well. So therefore, we need to comprehensively, and I again and again come to the same point, that you cannot let the hubs of terrorism happen like they did in Iraq and they did in Libya. And you have seen after the killing of Gaddafi and Saddam Hussein in Iraq, what happened to these two countries. So we do not want it to be, because Syria have been a moderate, have been a secular, and we have never had a terrorist in our country. In fact, even during the jihadist culture in Afghanistan. But this happened now after the 2011. We have still start seeing all these terrorists, including the Golani.
That you mentioned that Gaza is also going on. I would like to know about a few specific countries, how the fall of Syria, if it were to happen, would impact these countries. These countries would be Russia, Iran, Israel, and Lebanon, because they are having their own wars parallel to the Syrian civil war. How will the fall of Syria impact them?
See, first of all, there is no civil war in Syria. It is a war created on Syria after the 2011. We all know that the Syrian opposition, there was a genuine opposition to the Syrian government. We all agree more than 6 months, that was a peaceful movement. The moment this opposition agenda was hijacked by the Muslim Brotherhood organization, by the Islamist group, by the Takfiri, by the ISIS and Al-Qaeda, they lost their hopes in the revolution. So these people took over. Even Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, if you look at the history of it from 2011, establishing their footprint in Idlib province, which is occupied by Turkey since then, and sheltered 55,000 terrorists inside that city, it's a clear indication that these are not a genuine Syrian opposition. So there is no civil war. The second part is there is a war. We do not have to see the development in Syria in isolation of what's happening around us. It is the war on Gaza. It is the war on Lebanon. There is a genocide happening in Gaza, the West Bank and Gaza Strip, where Israeli wanted to annihilate and have a Jewish state only, not for the Palestinians, no state of Palestine. Then another front was open, was Lebanon, to end and eradicate Hezbollah fighters from the northern part of Israel and occupy more territories. Thirdly, Syria is the center of resistance, including Iraq and Iran. These are the axis of resistance which support each other against the hegemony of the United States and Israel hegemony, because Israel actually acting right now to have a greater Israel. And even they are putting this map on the Knesset, on the map of the parties of Israel, where they say it is from Euphrates to Nile, which include in Sinai Peninsula, Syria, Jordan, Lebanon, Palestine, Iraq, and 1/3 of Saudi Arabia. If this is the plan, then they are partly the sinister plot they are planning, which is carried by the United States, and it is called the clean and break policy since 1995, put by the new cons of the United States. So now Trump is coming to power. Trump wanted to end the Ukraine war, which is failing on that front, wanted to have Iran on board, and Iran is being threatened that it will go into a regional war because Netanyahu tried to take Iran into this war. So Netanyahu, on the other hand, is evading appearing for the trial in the Israeli court in 10th of December because he refused to go, and they said no, they declined to accept his appeal. So now he has to appear in the court. So if a chaotic situation is created in this part of the world, A, he have a reason not to go to the court. B, he has a reason to annex West Bank and Gaza and expand to Syria, by the way, annex some part of Syria, and on the pretext that there is a terrorist organization surrounding Israel, so we can declare a Jewish state. So they are expecting from the coming president of the United States, Donald Trump, to recognize Israel annexation of West Bank and Gaza. So this is the situation where I'm trying to explain to you what could happen to neighboring state. On the other hand, Abraham Accord will be put on the table once again. Trump will wanted to bring more Arab countries to normalize relation with Israel at the cost of the Palestinian, or there is no question of Palestine should come in normalizing relation with Israel. So I feel the current situation in Syria, it may look grim, but we have also the Astana agreement that between Syria, Russia, Iran, and Turkey, which is also in 2019 they have signed, and now there is a meeting happening there. They may agree of saving the sovereignty and integrity of Syria, allowing a political solution, and let all the opposition and the parties finding a solution for Syria by the Syrians without a foreign military intervention. If this happens, then I think we may not go into more chaotic situation. If not, that means the sinister plot they are planning to continue will continue, and we may head for a regional war.
Such a regional war is to break out. How will that impact India as a country?
Well, India is the major stakeholder in the region. India is also having the food security, oil security, expatriate security is also in the Gulf country. Remember, you have more than 8 million Indians living in the Gulf countries, the GCC, which is, more than 14 million even Indian comes every year to the GCC. So if India has lots of concern to make sure that there is no a major war break here, because if a regional war break, that means the Strait of Hormuz, the Red Sea, the Mediterranean, all this region will be blocked, and global trade and oil will be impacted, and India will have to suffer the maximum, because it's most of its supply come from this part of the world. And what you will do, God forbid, in that a war break, those Indian exodus will happen there. Because if United States attack Iran in this war from any military base in the GCC, Iran already sent a warning to these respective countries that any American attack from their territory, they will be targeted by Iran. So that means the oil installation, the gas, the military bases will be a target, legitimate target for the Iranian. That means a regional war will spread in this part of the world and then destroy. And it will bring us into a verge of a third world war, because there is a nuclear state called Israel. There is an ambitious state called Iran, which could use the ballistic missile to attack the Israelis' nuclear site if Israel attack its nuclear site. So the whole region will be at turmoil, and it will be a catastrophe. It could lead to more big power to involve, and then could lead us to a third world war, if not happening already in Russia-Ukraine war.